Hello, myself Dr. Mohan Kumar from Government Science College, Bengaluru. The topic that we are discussing now is economic zoology. So in that we will start with the topic sericulture and species of sericulture. Economic zoology is a branch of zoology which deals with the application of zoological knowledge for the benefit of mankind. You know, economy, and it is with reference to zoology. Okay, so this branch refers to the study of both beneficial as well as harmful organisms. Economic zoology deals with the study of both beneficial and harmful organisms. This includes, with reference to beneficial organisms, culture or mass production of animals and animal products for human use, like dairy, poultry, piggery, apiculture, sericulture, fish, prawn culture, molluscans culture, vermiculture, etc. This is as far as beneficial organisms are concerned. In the same way, on the other side, if you see, it also deals with the control or eradication of animals causing disease or injuries to man or other domestic organisms, as pest or parasite. Hence they affect either directly or indirectly. These are all the negative aspects. These are all the productive things. So all these things together we study under the heading what is called economic zoology. So this is associated with economy, our health and welfare of human beings. So that is, in simple terms, we call it as economic zoology. You know, we have been domesticating or we have been using the animals like cat, dog, donkey, horse, cattle, etc. for various purposes from last so many years. We have been using or exploiting the animals and animal products at the cost of their life. Just to highlight, we have been using the silkworms, in sericulture for the production of silk for us. We are using the honeybees for the production of honey. In the same way, we are culturing the prawns for for the production of prawns. In the same way, we are culturing the molluscans for the production of pearl. So, I am highlighting these are the different topics that we are dealing, in this what is called economic zoology, for your examination point of view. That is sericulture, apiculture, prawn culture, pearl culture, etc. That we will discuss in different classes. Today we start with the topic, it is called sericulture. In Latin, sericum means silk, culture means production. So that means sericulture deals with silk production. It refers to silk production. All of you know we are fond of overall beautification, decoration, etc. For all these things we have been using silk. Okay, so this art of cloth preparation from cultivated silk was known to Chinese people from last so many years, about or more than 2000 years ago. But this technique of production of silk or preparation of silk cloth was kept as top secret as national policy from these people. But gradually it was introduced to Europe and other countries. Of course, now this or sericulture industry is one of the very important industries in China, Korea, India, Brazil, Russia, Italy, France, etc. So, I mean, from where we are getting this silk? Who is producing? Are we? Definitely, the silk producing machine is an insect. It's called silk moth or the caterpillar of silk moth. The production of raw silk from silkworm of silk moth, from the silkworm of silk moth by rearing or culturing practice on commercial scale is nothing but or is called sericulture. Sericulture is the commercial production of raw silk by rearing the silkworm of silk moth is sericulture. So, it is concerned with the production of cocoons on commercial basis from which the raw silk filaments are unwound by the process what is called reeling. So, this is what basically sericulture means. The farmer or the sericulturist raises the silkworm for the production of cocoons. In India, systemic study of this sericulture started in 1905 at Pusa Research Institute, that is in Delhi. Anyway, although this silk is a beautiful and fancy gift of nature, but its commercial production is very complicated. It is very tough and it requires heavy manpower. Okay, that's why generally we call this sericulture as agro industry. Agro and industry. It is because sericulture industry basically has three major phases of activities. It involves three types of activities. First one is cultivation of mulberry plant. Second one is production of quality seeds or the eggs of the silkworm. Then rearing of the silkworm and raising the cocoon. This is the second point. Production of mulberry plant, production of quality seeds or eggs and rearing these eggs or silkworms to raise the cocoon. Then reeling of cocoon which yields silk. These are the three activities that are involved in sericulture. Why we call it as agro industry? First of all, cultivation of this mulberry plant, the leaves of which are used for feeding the silkworms. Then culturing the silkworms and raising the cocoon are the activities of agriculture. So these two, cultivation of mulberry plant and production of seeds plus rearing of these silkworm, it is completely a agricultural activity. But the third one, the reeling of, once you produce the cocoon, the reeling of cocoons which yields raw silk is basically an industrial activity. These two are agricultural activities and the third one is purely an industrial activity. So this sericultural activity involves both agricultural and industrial activities. Obviously, sericulture involves both agriculture and industrial activity. Hence, collectively, it is recognized as agro industry. It involves agricultural activity as well as industrial activity. So now today, sericulture industry is a highly developed cottage industry even in India. It is because research and development in both agricultural as well as industrial sector of the sericulture has led to the raising of hybrid and resistant varieties of mulberry. Because of research and development, now we have hybrid varieties of mulberry, resistant varieties of mulberry, etc. Plus, we also are able to produce quality seeds and cross breeds of silkworms. We also have the quality, silkworms also. We have the well-developed plant, improvised plants as well as the silkworm. Hence, we are able to produce more and more silk nowadays. As I told you, it's a labor-intensive work and it provides gainful employment to many people in the rural area, whether it is in India or any other country for that matter. It is an excellent opportunity for women in rural area to work in the cultivation of mulberry and rearing of silkworm, because it will not involve not that very heavy work. Okay, any woman in the rural area can manage these activities. This therefore indeed gives gainful employment to women and improves their economical status in the society. Now, let us see different varieties of silk or silkworms. Even though we have different varieties of silkworms, particularly 4 varieties are recognized for its commercial production. This is based on the type of silkworms or the species of silkworm that we are using, and also it depends on the type of host plants on the leaves of which the silkworm is feeding. So these 4 varieties, it depends on the species of silkworm as well as the plant on which the worm is feeding. So these 4 varieties I said, collectively these 4 varieties are grouped into 2 heads. One is mulberry silk, other one is non-mulberry. Mulberry is one. In non-mulberry we have 3 groups. 3 plus 1 is 4 variety. We will discuss one by one. Mulberry silk. So this is one of the finest quality of silk produced by the silkworm called Bombyx mori. This Bombyx mori is native to China, but now it is introduced to various countries including India. This Bombyx mori or mulberry silkworm feeds on, or its natural food is mulberry plant leaves. So we call it as Morus alba, Morus indica, etc. that plant. Now, superior variety of this mulberry and crossbreeds of silkworms are also produced for rearing purpose. In our country, this mulberry variety is extensively reared in different states like Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, UP, Jammu and Kashmir, etc. Mulberry silk is of superior quality with shining white yellow in color. It is almost white with yellowish tinge as far as the silk is concerned. That is mulberry silk. Second group is non-mulberry silk. It involves 3 types, that is Tassar, Eri and Muga. Tassar silk. This Tassar silk is secreted by the silkworm called Tassar silk. Its scientific name is Antheria paphiae. Antheria paphiae. This silk is of coppery in color. You can see the cocoon. It is not white or white yellowish like a mulberry. It is coppery in color. This Tassar silkworms are reared in Bihar, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh and UP. In general, it is common in India, China and Sri Lanka. The caterpillar of this Tassar silk feeds on oak, sal, fig plants, etc. The leaves of these plants. The cocoon of Tassar silk is hard and it is bigger. You can see here about hen's egg in size. As the moth of this Tassar silkworm do not easily breed in captive condition or captivity, Tassar silk industry has not reached up to the mark. It is almost, you can call it as semi-domesticated, etc. Second type of non-mulberry silk is eri silk. This is a non-mulberry silkworm. It is secreted by the eri silkworm Attacus resini. It is the scientific name of the silkworm. The host plant or these silkworms feed on the plant, mainly castor. The silk is produced in Bihar and Assam. This silk is white in color. This is white in color. The cocoon of this worm have very loose texture. Unlike the previous two cases, here you can see the texture is very loose, but the threads are not glossy, I mean like without any shining, but much durable as far as the quality is concerned. I mean they are very hard, rough, etc. It is much durable in its nature. And the last one we were discussing under non-mulberry silk is Muga silk. Non-mulberry silk produced by Muga silkworm Antheria assama. The silk is golden brown in color. This is the cocoon. These are the cocoons. It is golden brown in color. The caterpillars of this worm feed on Machilus plant. The host plant is Machilus plant. Muga silkworms are reared in Assam, and they are native to Assam. It is again semi-domesticated, I mean in nature. We told one is mulberry plus 3 non-mulberry silks. In addition to that, just to add for that, there is one more what is called oak silkworm. Particularly 4 varieties we generally study, but just to for your reference, next group is oak silkworm. Antheria perni is found in China and Japan. Antheria riolet of Himalayas and Antheria yamamai of Japan have been rearing for so many centuries. They also produce good quality silk, that is oak silkworm. And finally, giant silkworm. The name itself refers to giant moth. Attacus altus is found in India and Malaysia. It is the largest, hence joint, largest of the living insects, reaching up to 11 inches in wingspan. Hence it is called giant silkworm. So now we studied different groups. Out of the above species, only 4, as I said, mulberry, and 3 non-mulberry, that is tassar, muga and eri, are commonly used for sericultural purpose or commercial production of the silk. India is the only country in the world which is producing all these 4 varieties of silk, that is mulberry, tassar, muga and eri. Though we have number of races, care should be taken to select only those races of silkworms which fit for our locality, the climatic conditions, season of rearing, etc. Mulberry silk constitutes about 91% of the total silk production in India. So, as far as the silk production is concerned, in India we produce about 91% mulberry silk. Karnataka state tops the list, accounting for about 76% of the mulberry silk production in India. So India produces about 16% of the total production of raw mulberry silk, and it is in the second place as far as silk production is concerned, next only to China. So now we discussed about economic zoology. It is a branch of zoology which deals with the application of zoological knowledge for the benefit of mankind. That is what is called economic zoology. In that, we started the sericulture, the production of raw silk from the silkworm, that is its caterpillar of silk moth, by rearing practice on commercial scale is called sericulture. So the four main species of silkworms used in commercial sericultural activities are mulberry, tussar, muga and eri.